So the new free iOS 18 for iPhone, iPadOS 18 for iPad, and macOS Sequoia for the Mac, they all bring you new features, and they all make you feel like you've got new devices for free. New devices without all the considerable expense of actually buying new Apple devices. They're all out now. You can install them this minute if your device can handle them. That is, I mean, if your device can't, if your phone or whatever is just slightly too old, well, then it won't even let you install them, which, I mean, it's disappointing, but at least you'll know right away, won't you? There's no waiting for disappointment. Across all of the new updates, though, I would suggest that there are 10 fast reasons why it is worth writers updating, and then actually 2 reasons why it isn't. I mean, come on, 2 reasons why not. You've got to have some drama. We're writers, we need drama. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which, as ever, as always, is for writers like you and me, who use and who write on Macs, on iPhones, and on iPads. Do subscribe or support 58 Keys on Patreon, because there is always so much to talk about, except maybe this time slightly less than there tends to be at this time of year, though, when all of the new updates out. I mean, because actually, I'll just tell you now, one of those 2 reasons why it's not worth upgrading yet, Apple Intelligence. The big update for all of these, the very big update, the one we'll look back and think this has changed everything, maybe, is Apple Intelligence, and it's not even here yet. iPhone, iPad, and Mac users are going to get a lot of this Apple Intelligence, a lot of the features from this in October if you're in America. Here in the UK and some other countries, just some, we'll get a lot of them in December. Even then, though, it's not going to be complete, possibly not even very close to complete, but very broadly, when it eventually comes out and everything, iPhones, iPads, and Macs, how to say this, they'll be a bit smarter at least some tasks that are useful for us as writers, but that's then. In the meantime, though, okay, there are fewer reasons to upgrade than normal, maybe. A few reasons now, fewer reasons than normal. Fewer new features than normal, that's one thing. But there are still these 10 things, which are kind of in no particular order-ish. 10. Notes, recording and transcription. This is on iOS, iPadOS, and macOS. Apple Notes can now record audio, and it will transcribe that audio afterwards. I still wouldn't use it as my only audio recording device, you know, when you're interviewing somebody, for example. But like I say, this feature is across all of these devices, in Notes on the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac. So as long as you've got one of those, maybe you're reading from your notes, your questions are on there, why not? Let it run. Let Notes record audio, let Notes transcribe, and then when you're done with the interview or the meeting or whatever it is, there is all of the text for you to just read through as and when you need. Number 2, though, reader view in Safari across all OSs again. Speaking of reading, and actually again, all 3 main devices, so iPhone, iPad, Mac, not the Apple Watch, not tvOS, Safari on each of those has an improved reader view. Honestly, I've given up with Safari. I mean, I really like Safari, but I mean, I've given up on trying to follow the news of when certain Safari features are coming. But we do definitely now have reader improvements, and I think they are very good. A reader, if you don't happen to have used it, takes a regular website and it just strips everything away. It shows you only the text plus like the main images. And all that's really new is that there are some finer controls over the fonts you read in. I think it's just somehow overall it's a more pleasant reading experience. Yeah, hard to define, but easy to see. Number 3, Control Center. This is iOS and iPadOS particularly. Swipe down from the top right corner, I have to think when I'm not doing it, of your iPhone and iPad, and you get Control Center. Okay. With iOS 18 and iPadOS 18, all of this is revamped. Whereas you used to have this, there was a set of fixed controls at the top, you had to do the volume and things, and you couldn't change those, couldn't move them. Now everything is up to you, and you get multiple pages of these controls. And those controls can also be, I mean, not just in different positions, but different sizes, different shapes, adjust anything. Waste hours doing this. Set it all up to give you fast access to anything you want. Number 4, iPhone mirroring. That's it over there. This is on the Mac, but it does require an iPhone running iOS 18 as well. Macs get a new icon in the dock. You click it, and your iPhone is now on your Mac's screen. It's very smart, yeah, and it works seamlessly nearly all of the time. But I think the surprising thing about it is how ridiculously useful it is. Again, hard to give examples, mostly because they're all a bit trivial and maybe daft. But yeah, I tried it. I thought this is nice. I keep using it. Number 5, window tarning, which I think it's also just on the Mac. I do keep using the new window tarning as well, but they're chiefly because I keep forgetting to switch it off. No offense, window tarning. If you've not already got a third-party app that does this, then Apple's own new window tarning is excellent. It's excellent because, well, it helps you keep on top of, just the mess of windows and documents. We have the overlapping stuff. The green traffic light button, right, for one thing, that now gives you this drop-down. All apps also have this menu item. You can quickly move things around, and speaking of quickly, you can also just drag anywhere to the side, bottom, whatever, and have it snap to take up the whole of the left of the screen, the whole of the right, full screen, top, bottom. My thing is that there are many alternatives. On this Mac here, I use Keyboard Maestro so that I can quickly arrange up to like 5 documents left to right on it. On my wee little MacBook Pro, well, I use one called Mosaic, which lets me just, chuck windows to the left or right. Number 6, Passwords app across all of these devices. For years, right, this Safari has prompted you to let it enter passwords for you. Go to a site, it prompts you, and that's still there, still does it. But all of that functionality has been pulled out into this new separate Apple Passwords app. So far it only handles, really only handles login time. So you can't do credit cards, you can't do secure notes, software license codes, none of that. But it's very good at what it does. And especially if you've not used a password manager app before, well, then it's right there. You'll use it now and you'll be glad that you did. New Passwords app, did I say this? It's on all of the devices, iPhone, iPad and Mac. Yeah, number 7, the Photos app. I could go on a bit about the Passwords app. I can't really go on a lot about the Photos one. It's been redesigned. I think it looks very good. Yeah, there you go. Look at the quality of information you get here. Number 8, the Calculator app and iPadOS. iPadOS, not iPadOS. This is a headline feature for the iPad, but only because it's taken 14 years for Apple to get around to doing this. There is now a calculator app on the iPad at last. I'm honestly shrugging though, because I bought pCalc for the iPad and the iPhone and the Mac and Apple TV, Apple Watch about 11 billion years ago, and naturally I just recommend that you do too. It's very good. Number 9, maths. So speaking of numbers, even after a couple of months, right, with the beta tester versions of all of this, I'm still not sure. Is this actually a useful reason to upgrade, or is it just an amazing gimmick? But Apple Notes will now do maths for you. It will also do those maths, do that math, delete as applicable, in your handwriting if you use the Apple Pencil, which leads me to number 10, handwriting in Apple Notes. Surely, unquestionably, this could be the most useful thing for any writer. Yeah, except possibly me. It's too late for me. You go on, leave me. Handwriting on the iPad in Apple Notes. The iPad now has a feature called Smart Script. Apple puts names on every feature. You're never going to remember the name. You're never going to care that it's called Smart Script, but you are going to use this all the time. What Smart Script does is, well, you handwrite something on your iPad using the Apple Pencil, and it takes your handwriting and just tidies it up, just subtly a little bit. It's still your handwriting, it's just better. And I probably do mean specifically your handwriting is better, not mine. In my case, I tried it on the first day I had it in the iPad, just said, like, there are limits, So then I'm getting over that handwriting. It's all there. That's 10 reasons to upgrade now. And I did already say that one major reason not to bother yet is that this Apple Intelligence stuff isn't here yet. I mean, Apple Intelligence, that's going to add summaries that I like, writing tools. I'm a bit iffy about. It's going to add all sorts. I mean, we don't really know what we think of them until we've got them. But this is serious. The other reason not to upgrade just yet is pragmatism. Apple has tested iOS 18, iPadOS 18 and macOS Sequoia. I mean, you know they have, of course they have. And they've also put it out into the world to have developers testing it all like mad. And then they've also put it out in the world to have brave/foolish members of the public testing it as well. And yet, there's still a difference when all of these things are out officially and they are suddenly on a billion devices. I mean, actually, literally a billion. There will be problems that weren't spotted before. There will be. Hopefully, the tiny ones. Certainly, they're ones that will be fixed and probably very quickly. But if you are watching this as iOS 18 and the rest first come out, well, give it a week. Okay, just give it a week. Let everyone else find the problems, and then let Apple fix all of the problems. Plus, nothing can be allowed to interrupt your writing except maybe tea, chocolate, a good film, theatre, friends. Go to the websites of your main writing apps, or all actually of your writing apps, and check that they support the new OSs. You may have to dig into the support forums and things to find out. It's sometimes not very obvious. But if your writing app is not fully supported on the new iOS 18 and the rest, don't upgrade yet. I mean, it can wait, and your writing can't, even though we might keep putting our writing off. Well, it's got to be our choice, not the choice of our devices. So that's it for this edition of 58 Keys, a fast run through of 10 reasons to upgrade and 2 not to. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Write more. And I'll see you soon.